Okay, good morning everybody, and thank you very much for deciding to spend your time here watching my presentation. My name is James Milton, and I'm a creative technologist. Now, I've been out of university for the last 7 years and have been working, and honestly, I didn't think within this such short amount of time within my career I would have experienced so much drastic change in my day-to-day work. Part of my job is to keep up to date with the ongoing advancements in technology. And yes, and needless to say, I've been very busy, seeing what I can do with this new technology, how I can experiment with it, and make things. So today, I want to tell you a little bit about that journey, and then also tell you a little bit about how this relates to media. So to get everybody up to speed, I'm going to give a little bit of an overview of the current AI landscape. And when I say the AI landscape, I'm really talking about what has happened literally in the last month or so, because it is just constantly stuff is happening. And then what I want to do is I want to give you a little bit of an insight into my journey and how my way of working has changed in this new AI wave. And then maybe that's also an opportunity for us all to resonate a little bit about how maybe all of you have also experienced change in your careers as well. And then one thing that's massively changed in my career is something called vibe coding. It's a new phrase, again, which has only come out within the last few weeks, and it has massively changed my way of working, and I'm going to tell you about that as well. And then lastly, I mean, we're here at NAB, so it makes sense to talk about something that's media related. So I'm going to also show you a tool that I was able to make myself as a complete media novice. I was able to create a video analyzer tool with my fresh perspective. So let's first of all talk about what is currently happening in the world of AI right now. So you've probably heard of ChatGPT. I suspect most of you use it, maybe even on a daily basis. I know I certainly do. And recently, 2 weeks ago, they came out with an update for image generation. Now, AI image generators have been around for a while now. We've heard of Midjourney and Stable Diffusion. But recently, OpenAI released an update which has completely changed the game once again. What I'm showing you here is an image generated from ChatGPT of an infographic. And what's important to sort of highlight here is the text that it's being able to generate here. There's a few things as well. It also has real-world knowledge. So I've asked it to create an infographic of Newton's prism experiment, and it's been able to do it accurately and with text as if it's come straight out of an exercise book. If you compare that to if that same prompt was put in just last year, you'll see that it's just nonsensical gibberish, or not even gibberish, it's not even text. So that kind of shows you the speed at which things are advancing. And this particular part of AI is disrupting so many different industries, whether it be marketing, whether it be photography, videography, copyright. It's getting a lot of people up in arms at the moment. As well, costs for AI are just decreasing rapidly. Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, says that the cost of using AI is going to fall about 10 times every year, which that is an immense rate. And so therefore, when you also think about that AI is now becoming multimodal, it's not just text in and text out. You can now feed it images and video and speech, and AI will respond back with speech and with video and images. And so therefore, in the media landscape, and with these reduction in costs, it just makes more and more sense to implement AI into whichever part of your workflow and to reap the benefits, because it's just getting cheaper and cheaper. One shift that we're seeing is from Google. Now, Google, we all are familiar with the 10 blue hyperlinks that we see whenever we search something on Google. And even that is going to be changing very soon. Google are experimenting with this AI mode, whereby instead of getting those 10 hyperlinks, you instead talk with Google in a conversational way, and that's how you're now, from now on, going to be able to get your information. Now, this is another part of what's happening in AI, which gets a little bit dystopian. Sesame is a human-level emotional AI companion. It's a part of AI that is specialized specifically in speech. So I'm talking to you right now, and there are pauses in my speech. I speak in different tones, different volume, and up until now, AI has not been very good at that. But this model, which I'm going to show you a video of now, or play an audio.
Come explore the world through my ears, my code, I guess. But most importantly, come connect. Be curious. Be yourself. You won't regret it.
So that short snippet there was of an AI Sesame, and you may have heard a little bit at the beginning. It laughed, and I could then respond back to it and talk to it and have a conversation. And I'm sure it could even cry, but I've never actually tried making Sesame cry. But this is disrupting not business, but actually humans as a whole. One person on Reddit here said that they have literally fallen in love with Sesame AI, saying that this person is growing more and more attached to, is it a her? I'm not entirely sure how to label Sesame here. But it's very reminiscent of the movie Her, where the main fiction plot of the fiction story is that somebody fell in love with an AI bot. And so this is an extremely interesting area to watch and see how we as a human race grow with AI. The one last thing that I want to focus on here is agents, AI agents. AI agents are basically, you give it a goal. So in this case, I've given it the goal of finding the perfect place to watch the Golden Gate Bridge at sunset, and please tell me the perfect time to leave, the drive time, and then set up a calendar event in my computer. So here, what has happened, the AI agent is now taking control of my computer. And it has gone onto Google, it's opened up Chrome, it's searched the web, and it's now done some research. And now you can see that it's opening up maps, finding the perfect spot, and then eventually it's now finding the drive time, and then it's going to open up calendar in a second and put it in my calendar and send an event to my friends. Now, this part of AI agents is still very early. It's quite rudimentary, but it is getting better and better. And if the rate at which AI is improving, which is really quickly, then this is going to be becoming more of the norm very soon. And I don't know about you, but I know for me personally, my computer is my main tool. And if AI agents are now starting to take control of my computer, then whether it's using Excel or video editing software or anything else, it's going to look very different very soon. In fact, to be totally transparent, I used AI agents to help create this deck for me. I used ChatGPT Deep Research, and I gave it the goal of researching for me this very presentation that I'm giving to you now. I told it to research media solutions and about NAB. I'm an NAB newbie, by the way. And what it then did is it then conducted the research for me. It started researching on the web, and then it responded back with a report, a full report, and it even gave me presenter notes and images. And then what I then did is I then used a different AI platform, in this case Gamma, which is specialized in making presentation graphics. And it then gave me this very presentation here. Okay, full transparency, that's not exactly what happens. Now, I'm a creative, and I want to have my own creative look and feel on the things that I present. So there's still a gray area as to how AI can get involved in this type of, work and creative expression. But still, I think it's an area that is developing quickly. So I want to give you a little bit of timeline of sort of how things and how my career has developed a little bit. So about a year ago, as my job, I am coding, I am doing video edits, I'm designing. It's a full spectrum of things. And previously, it used to be very manual, or at least as manual as working on a computer can be. But slowly, things started becoming more assisted with various different AI models that help with doing some of the details, the more technical stuff. But still, it was very much that AI was assisting me, but I was assisting it as much as it was assisting me. But now, I really truly think we've come to this self-actualization stage now, at least in my type of work, where the AI is so good at handling the grunt work and the technicalities that now I've been left with the freedom to just focus on my creative expression. Now, some of you may be thinking, what's this got to do with NAB? And that's a very fair question. As I mentioned just before, I am a NAB newbie. I don't really have too much experience in the media world, but recently I have been dipping my feet, and that is what the rest of this presentation is going to start getting into now. So I work right here in the Innovation Lab in the Netherlands at an agency called Hypersolid. As you can see, it's a beautifully messy room, and it's where ideas get tested and things get broken. Everything from hardware to software to artificial intelligence, mixed reality, and a lot of awesome things have been made here. Beyond the innovation lab that I just showed you here is the agency that I work for, Hypersolid. Whoops. And Hypersolid, it's a relatively new brand, but we've been around for over 20 years with 450 specialists who provide solutions across the digital spectrum for a bunch of clients. And as well as offering these services, from the very innovation lab that I just showed you, we've come up with all sorts of different ventures that have ended up being sold, such as this one right here, which is Beyond Sport, which is where we use real-time motion tracking on sports matches, and we've then partnered with organizations like the NHL in order to do real-time motion tracking of sports events, and then partnerships with franchises like Toy Story, and have then, in fact, won sports Emmy Awards as a result. Another innovation that has come from the Innovation Lab is Mobile Viewpoint, which you may have heard of. It's a solution for mobile live streaming, where it's now being used by BBC and Sky Sports, and that was acquired by Vislink in 2021 for 18.3 million. Now, the beautiful thing is that all of these things have come from this room, and this room has experienced all of the different waves of technological, hypes, whether it be the dot-com hype or, mobile applications. And right now we're experiencing, and this room is, looking into AI, as you can see by the stickers on the window there. And what I want to tell you now is how I've also been navigating these waves myself individually. So, in this type of work, you have designers and developers. And they're often seen as being on the opposite end of the spectrum. You have your geeks and you have your creatives. And I see myself as being somewhere in the middle there. For developers, they are often spending time technically writing code and building things, but it's a very long and technical process. And for me, as someone who's a bit of a generalist and likes just making things, it can sometimes be just quite a frustrating thing to do. And for creatives and for designers, it's kind of the opposite. You're making things that are beautiful and have a good user experience, but they're not real. They're mock-ups. And there's this disconnect between these two worlds. But now my life has kind of been made a little bit more easier, or at least more interesting, because there's now a bridge between these two worlds. And that is also because of AI. And I'm going to tell you what one of those bridges are, and one of them is vibe coding, which I mentioned before. So vibe coding, it's basically AI-assisted development. So as I mentioned before, coding is very technical, and sometimes things don't work, and you realize that you accidentally forgot to put a semicolon at the end of your code. But now there's a way easier way to build things. So when I'm vibe coding, I am giving the AI my goal of what I want to build. So let's say I'm making a website and I want to change the button to be red. Well, before I would have to go into the code and see where that code was and change the code, but now I can just give the AI a goal and it will do it for me. But even better yet, nowadays I'm not even typing on my computer. I'm actually just talking to my computer and the computer listens to me. I do that using, at the moment, this application called Super Whisper. I do a little keyboard command on my keyboard, talk to my computer as if it's my own intern, and the job gets done. So when I've told my computer I want to change the button to be red, that then gets sent to my code editor. Except I'm now no longer using just a normal code editor that doesn't listen to me. I'm using Cursor, where as you can see on the right, I can type in the box what it is I want to do, and it will write the code for me. And so now I can get from my desired, goal to the output in really short amounts of time, meaning that I'm building things so much quicker. So here is a quick just B-roll footage of me doing some vibe coding. So I'm working on this website here, and I want to change the icons here to be black and white. So what I'm going to do, I'm at my desk, and I'm saying to my computer, change the buttons to be black and white. And you can see that it's just been listening to me, and you can see my text there, and now the code will start to generate. So it understands the goal, and it's going to edit the code file. And now you can see the code that's writing. So it understands that it's website code, so it knows to do that. But let's say if I was building an iPhone app, which is a very different code stack, it would be able to do it. So now you can see it's black and white. So this is a very simple example, but this can then be abstracted into much bigger use cases. Now, vibe coding is not the be-all and end-all for everything. It's great for me because I'm a generalist, but still, when you're building things that are scalable, that have then thousands of users, you still need to make sure that the architecture is solid and that there's good security and bugs. You can't rely on AI for everything. And that's why still I have my colleagues at Hypersolid that, when they're building industry-level things, they're still absolutely 100% needed. But for someone like me who likes to just build things quickly and prototype and make things a bit quick and dirty, this new way of working has been like obtaining a superpower. Now, maybe some of you are once again thinking, what's the link here to NAB? Well, I'm going to tell you that right now. What I'm showing you right here is the key visual for an application that myself and one other person were able to make in just a couple of weeks. It's called the AI Carwash. It's because we're still kind of figuring out a name, because it's very much a prototype, and when you're working on prototypes, names are not really the highest priority. But what it is, essentially, is a video analyzer tool. So at Hypersolid, we have plenty of clients that are media-based clients, and they have vast amounts of catalogs of video. And we wanted to see if there was something that we could make that could enable our clients to utilize the power of AI as it is what's possible at the moment. And it was also just a bit of a challenge because for myself, I'm a complete media novice with no real prior experience of all of the other tools that I'm sure are here at NAB. But to just see if I can take a fresh perspective to building something that does this without, knowing really the industry. Now, I'm going to show you quickly how it works in action. So here on the left-hand side, you can see a video. It's just a normal video. It's a 22-minute news segment and of a historic moon landing. And on the right-hand side, you can see the front end of the AI Carwash, where what I'm going to be doing now is uploading the video to the tool and then clicking some options, which I'll go into more detail in just a second. And once we've pressed submit, we then have the results from the AI Carwash. Now, what we can see is the video that we submitted, and then we can see some metadata that the tool was able to extract. So I'm going to go through each of these different elements now. So first of all, we have the AI-generated title, a really simple but quite useful piece of information here. Imagine if you have, thousands of pieces of content, and just simply having an automatic way to create a title for that video is just a fundamentally useful thing to be able to have. And then we have IAB chapters. Now, I'm sure maybe some of you here know what IAB chapters are. I did not know what IAB chapters were and still don't have a great understanding of them, but my colleague said to me, it would be really good if the Carwash could have IAB chapters, because then that would be really useful to know where to place targeted ads within the video. So what I then did is I went back to my AI assistant, my intern, my digital intern, and I said to it, I literally had a conversation and said, my colleague said that we should implement IAB chapters, but I'm not too sure what it is. And then I had a back and forth with my coding, with my program, and we figured out a way together of how to implement this. And lo and behold, a few minutes later, we have this working part of the AI car wash, where you can see is different time segments with different IAB chapters. Some other parts that the tool is able to extract. Simply here an AI summary. So imagine if I uploaded a video that is 2 hours long. Being able to get a sentiment of what that video is in just a short little snippet could be very useful for some different applications. But then maybe you're thinking more from an editorial standpoint, and SEO is important. So again, I just simply asked the AI to give me a SEO description of the video, and it was able to do it. Another thing that I implemented here was, well, this particular content here is about news. So I thought, well, I actually, again, brainstormed with my AI agent and said, what would be interesting metadata to extract from a news video? And it said, oh, maybe a newsworthiness index would be cool. If we could rank stuff like prominence and impact and unusualness and give an overall score. So I said, sounds good, let's implement it. And step by step, we then got to this. Age classification, very simple, but again, incredibly powerful for making sure that maybe you have, again, massive amounts of content and being able to age classify it. I'm going to quickly go through the rest of these now, but then, again, anything that you can think of that you want to extract from the video, it can do it. It was able to extract objects, emotions, it was a historic landing, so I'm happy to see that there was some excitement in the room. Extracting some key facts and notable quotes from the video as well. So how does that work? What was the logic behind building this? Well, so first of all, it starts with a video. The very video that I just showed you, but it can be absolutely any video. And what the back end of the application first then does is it extracts many, many frames, static images from the video. So what we then do with those frames is we then send those individual frames to an AI model. And the great thing here is that we can use any AI model that is appropriate. So at the moment, ChatGPT, OpenAI is very good at, you can give it an image and it will then tell you what is in that image back. But then let's say maybe Claude or Llama, all of these different AI models, maybe they are better or become better and have new updates. Then all we need to do is simply swap out the model and then you have an improved version. It's all very, scalable. So what this AI model does is when you give it a frame, it will then describe what's happening in that frame. So let's say it's in frame 1, it might say breaking news. So the AI model will say, oh, in frame 1, breaking news in bright blue in a strong font. And then frame 2 is now in the newsroom and there's 2 anchors, a male and a female with a lower third. It's able to describe all of this. At the same time, what we're also doing is we're extracting the audio track, and then we are sending that audio track to another AI model that's able to transcribe it. So then what you then get as a result is a transcription of the entire video. So now with these two things, the visual descriptions and the audio descriptions, we have a really rich text-based understanding of this video. And what we can then do with that is we can then send that to another AI model and ask it for information. So it could be that you want to ask it for AI-generated titles that we just saw. It can easily do that. Or SEO, or ad break timings, or whatever else. Let's say maybe you're building something and it would be really useful to have audio descriptions for accessibility. It's just a case of then just prompting it and then you are able to get it. So what's next? Well, what I've shown you here is the fact that a media novice like me was able to build something so rapidly. And it goes to show that like AI is going to be, causing a lot of change in the future. And that's for certain. And I know that AI there's been a lot of false promises about it, and I know it certainly can't solve everything. But for somebody like myself, who is interested in building things quickly and for prototyping, this new way of working is so valuable, and I think it's something that is going to really disrupt every industry, and not just media. So if you would like to talk more about this, or if any of this has sparked your interest, then myself and my colleagues Sander and Wouter are here to discuss more with you. Well, thank you very much.